Everybody, we're glad to see everyone back, and look forward to having a different type of school year this year. There's two things I can promise you. The first one is that both Master Armandorf and myself want to get back into the classroom just as much, if not more, than everybody on this Zoom chat right now. But we understand the situation we've been dealt with. When the decision was made to go online back in July, Sacramento County had about 200 cases of coronavirus a day. Instead of us getting better, we're up to 800 cases a day. So we're headed in the wrong direction. And if we want to get back in the classroom, it really does have to be a community effort to get us all back in there. We're going to try our best to make this distant learning as engaging and interactive as possible. We spent the entire summer learning from each other and experimenting and trying to figure out different ways to make it more exciting. Sound good?
Yes, I'm Major.
All right, good. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and mute yourself. I am recording this for anyone that did not make it in. So go ahead, make sure you're muted, and we'll get started with Master Armandorf. Sir, you're up first.
Welcome back, everybody. It's good to see everybody. We're looking forward to, I don't know, experimenting with this new online way on how to do business. Hopefully it's, like the Sergeant Major was saying, hopefully it's not longer and it's shorter. We're guesstimating somewhere the first quarter we're looking at potentially being exclusively online, and then as we start to phase back into the school, we're looking to get back into the hybrid where there's going to be some social distancing requirements and those types of things. And hopefully by the time we hit the first semester, or hit the end of the first semester, we should be back in the classroom. At least I hope. But it's good to see everybody. We're looking forward to trying to get through all these challenges and stuff all together. It's not just myself and the Sergeant Major going through this. We're all doing this together. And we have, I think, what was it, 41 or 42 incoming freshmen coming. So we're all going to have to put our arms around them, at least during the distance portion of this, because there's no other way to get to know these cadets. And I'll talk a little bit more on when we hit the fundraising portion on how there's opportunities there where we can meet each other outside of this distant learning stuff. But welcome back, and we're looking forward to spending some time with you guys.
Good, thanks, Bashar. CO, you're up next, sir.
I just want to welcome everyone back. It's cool looking at real people instead of looking at an Xbox screen for a long time, but I know it's going to be hard. Distance learning. Elk Grove right now is doing exactly what we're doing. Instead, they're waking up early. They had like 1 hour sessions for Zoom, and then next class, you get like 5 minutes or 10 minutes for your next class. And then it's going to basically be like a Zoom call, and you can put each other in groups. It's going to be kind of hard for these new freshmen, like Master said, because they're not going to get the social skills they need. And it's way easier talking to a camera than actually building up the courage to talk to a person face to face. And that being said, I also want to it's going to be hard because not everyone has a computer, or not everyone's going to have the time to get on Zoom at a certain time, but I want to have at least 80% attendance for this, at least for this distance learning. But other than that, just try your best, try getting on, or tell someone if you can't make it. That's all I look for.
Good. All right, good. Thank you, sir. All right, without further ado, we are going to get started. Does everybody have their cell phone? Yes? Big head shakes? Good. You're going to need your cell phone for this. Oops. All right, everyone should be able to see my screen now. Is that correct?
Sergeant Major, one thing before we get started, I wanted to remind you, don't forget that when we mailed the letters to the first years for their orientation on Wednesday, we're using your code, because I didn't know what my code was at that time. So we'll be able to share the screen and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can everybody see my screen? Master, you can see it?
Yeah.
All right, so welcome everybody. Here's our agenda for today. We're gonna set up our Turning Point. Turning Point is a software we'll be using to make our instruction more interactive with you, so you're not just sitting there listening to our voices or watching our computer screens. We're gonna introduce our cadet leaders for the school year. We're gonna discuss our program updates, including how we plan on making distance learning work. We're gonna affect our promotions, and then we'll give you an opportunity for questions. All right, right now what I need everyone to do is either you're going to download the Turning Point app, and that's exactly what it's called, Turning Point, and it looks like this symbol right here, or you're gonna go to your web browser and type in ttpoll.com. ttpoll.com. So once you go to ttpoll.com, you should have a welcome screen that looks just like this. If you download if you're using your web browser instead of the app, go ahead and hang loose for us to catch up to you. But for those of you that download the app, you're gonna click open, and then you're gonna click on guest. Now we're all on the same sheet of, now we're all on the same page of music. So under session ID, for every class you take with me, you're going to type in Sergeant Major Esparza 1. If it's a class with Master Sergeant Mundorf, you'll be using Master Sergeant Mundorf 2. But for me, for right now, everyone should be typing in, no spaces, Sergeant Major Esparza 1, and then click on Join Session. If you see a message that says invalid session, please do not spaz out. That simply means that Master Sergeant and I have not turned on Turning Point yet. It doesn't mean that it's broken. It just means calm down. We're a little bit behind where you are. From there, you should see a screen that calls for your name. You're going to enter your name. See how I did mine? Cadet Sergeant Major Esparza J. The reason I use the letter J is because there might be more than one Esparza in my class. Like we have a handful of towels, we have a handful of bangs, and a handful of chains in our class. So that distinguishes and lets us know who's answering which questions. Once we get past that, we're on the polling portion. Every time we receive a question, for example, in this question here, you're asked to select your LE level. You're just going to go down to the bottom and select what your response is. Once you pick your answer, you're going to see the screen turn blue at the bottom. It says response received. That means both the Master Sergeant and I have received your response. If you want to message either myself or Master Sergeant, you're going to click on the 3 bars in the upper left-hand corner. You're going to see a drop down, and you're going to click on messaging. From there, you just type in whatever message you might have for us. I don't get it. As soon as you click the submit arrow at the bottom, just like your text message or your book face message or DMs, it comes up to the presenter as I don't get it or whatever it is you may have wanted to communicate with us. Pretty simple stuff. We do ask this, please do not share our session ID or your password if you end up setting up your own account. The reason it is because then we'll end up with other cadets or other students who do not belong to our class in our classroom. They can start typing inappropriate messages for the rest of the class to see. All right, so we get it. Both Master and I understand that you are going to get a ton of information thrown at you in the first week of school. The reason we did our orientation earlier than the rest of the school is because we wanted you to take some time to absorb it, take the punch in the face, and then when school starts, you feel not as anxious as you might if everyone, all 6 of your classes are throwing stuff at you at the same time. So we're giving you a chance to learn how to use it, come up with questions, and then send them to us. And we promise we're going to work with you. It will seem confusing at first. I do promise that. I do know that. But I also promise that Mashar and I had to go through some growing pains as we learned this, and we will definitely help you figure this out. Okay, so our first question, for those of you who downloaded, for those of you who are on Turning Point, our first question is, did it work? There's a little bit of delay. And if it worked or not, you just click whether it did. A is yes, B is no. And I'll give everybody some time. So far, we've got 13 responses, 14 responses, and I think when I last checked, we had 35 cadets in the program. So far, it's working. It's super easy, but I promise you, it's a lot more fun and a lot more engaging than just listening to my raspy, freckled voice. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close it. We got everyone who has tried it, figured it out. It's not difficult at all. All right, next we're going to select our LE level. And we've got LE1, LE2s, 3s, and 4s, and you can see it kind of adjusting as it takes place. 18 responses, people are moving. It's really simple to use. And then the fact that you get to see the results as it happens kind of puts you at ease. It's actually, I think, a little bit better than being in the classroom, because now you don't have to worry about raising your hand and being embarrassed to get the wrong answer, because it's fairly anonymous. All right, so we got 19 responses, and it looks like most of our participants are LE2s. All right, last question for this section. Are you ready to get going? You're either ready, I guess, or oh crap, are we really doing this? So go ahead and answer that. And we see that there's a couple who are like, really, do we have to do this? And most of us are either apathetic or fully confident to get going. 19 responses so far, good. So we now use it. Like I said, it's super, super easy. Good. We finished off with most of us being ready to go. Okay, so we'll start off with your cadet leaders. We already know our CO is Cadet Second Lieutenant Panzoy. Our XO is Cadet Second Lieutenant Bang C. Our first sergeant is the mighty Cadet First Sergeant Hoke. And rounding out our top four, our company Guardian Sergeant is Cadet Guardian Sergeant Bang K. Strong, big four. All right, so our first question, gradable question, is who is your commanding officer? And on questions like this where I want to test your knowledge, making sure you're paying attention, you won't see your responses until we're done voting. That way we're not all just sitting there copying off each other. So we're at 19 responses so far, and no one else is voting. Looks like we got about 19 participants. And it was easy. Almost everybody thought it was Panzoy. One person thought it was Van Etten. One person thought it was Sergeant Major. You're going to have cadets like that just testing to see how goofy they can be.
Right.
All right, so next, another way you can work this is by saying, picking the correct picture. So on this photo, click on who you think is the picture of your CO. You can just tap on your screen to the correct picture. Got 20 responses so far. And that's usually where we finish, around where we finish. And it looks like everyone picked Panzoy, but somebody thought that Bang C should have at least been picked for CO. Sorry, Panzoy. All right, so our platoon leaders. Our first platoon commander is Cadet Staff Sergeant Safan. His platoon sergeant is Cadet Sergeant Moyang Bing Bong. And their guide is Cadet Lance Corporal Willie Cleveland. Second platoon is Platoon Commander's Cadet Staff Sergeant Cher. Her platoon sergeant is Cadet Sergeant Robles. And their guide is Cadet Lance Corporal Tao M. Our third platoon commander is Cadet Staff Sergeant Prasad. Her platoon sergeant is Cadet Sergeant Dor. And their guide is Cadet Lance Corporal Chang L. Fifth platoon commander is Cadet Gunnery Sergeant Del Mundo. Her platoon sergeant is Cadet Sergeant Bang S., also our top recruiter last year and continues to bring cadets into the program. And their guide is Cadet Lance Corporal Russian Rocket Gubzeva. So I'm not gonna lie, it was really difficult picking leaders this year. Our big four was a challenge for myself and the Master Sergeant. We invited the big four to help us choose our platoon leaders, and it was tough. We got a lot of strong cadets. So for third and fifth platoon, the way you'll be working your squad leaders and fire team leaders is platoon leaders, commanders, sergeants, and guides will get together and they will interview and select their squad leaders and fire team leaders and present those names to myself and the Master Sergeant. Sixth platoon, led by Cadet Staff Sergeant Leal. Her platoon sergeant is Cadet Sergeant Yates. And their guide is Cadet Lance Corporal Luna SpongeBob. Special duty assignments that will apply more closely when we get back in the classroom is our supply chief is Cadet Sergeant Huerta. Our armory chief is Cadet Sergeant Loera. And drill and color guard we will talk about later. All right, next polling question. Which platoon do we think is best? 5 responses. Ooh, look at that donut move. Second platoon's getting a lot of votes. Second platoon is dominating. Couple for first. Oh, 1 vote for fifth. Wow. Fifth is our booger platoon. All right. So looks like the majority feel that that second platoon's a stacked team. Nice. Impressive. All right, so our mission statement hasn't changed. Our mission is to motivate young people, you, our cadets, to be better citizens. Get you out there and make a difference. That's obviously a lot more hard in a virtual environment. So we got to be creative about how we are going to do this. And like I said, Matt Sharn and I have spent almost every day since June 11th trying to figure out how we're going to do this. We are going to be using Google Classroom that is mandated throughout the district. The difference is instead of breaking it down by LE level, we are going to keep you with your platoon integrity, and we will be using Turning Point to make it a more interactive classroom. LE1s will be taught by Master Mundorf. LE2s, this is a change from last year. Last year, Master kept the LE2s for academics. This year, all LE2 academics will be done with me. Our primary focus while we're on distant learning will be on academics. Once we get through the beginning of the school year, we're going to focus on LE-driven syllabus, where we'll focus on what the Marine Corps has deemed the most critical things for us to learn in the classroom. We'll do that distant, we'll do that virtually, and we'll supplement it. We'll have our occasional PE session and health class. We're going to start the school year off slow. Now, we understand you've been out of school for a while. You haven't been in a physical learning environment since March. It's going to take some time to get you back in the saddle. So we're going to start the school year off. The first couple of days, we're going to do a welcome back, get everybody acclimated back into showing up for school. We're going to take an admin day to do all of our paperwork and make sure that our cadet records are set up electronically. We're going to do a stress management class. A lot of you said during the spring that you had a lot of anxiety issues and a lot of stress going on. And then we'll do a time management class. One of the biggest things we got from the final exam essays was that this virtual learning just caught a lot of us off guard. We were playing video games, we were on our phones, and realizing like, oh my God, getting my schoolwork done is completely on me. There's nobody pushing me. It's a lot more like college than what we would expect high school to be. So we're gonna give a class on time management. When are we doing it is probably the biggest unknown. There are proposals by the district to do that. We will be doing 100% live. So just like we are now, we do a Zoom meeting and we throw up some slides and walk you through it. That's what the district and the state of California want. We do, however, understand that some of you don't have the strongest internet connection. Some of us have to share a laptop with our siblings, and we can't be on 100% of the time live. So there's some things to work out, and not even Mashar and I know. We just know what the intent is to get as many students live as possible. Google Classroom codes, I'll share them all right now. First platoon, second platoon, third platoon, fifth platoon, and sixth platoon. If you didn't have time to write those down, I will be sending them, posting them on our Remind.
Sorry, Major, can I say something real quick on that previous slide?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so as we go back to this slide here for the platoon codes that join in, myself and the SAR majors talked over the summer about changing up how we have our first year platoons. So we allowed a couple of few second, third, and fourth year cadets to be in there with the first years to kind of help assist and kind of help mentor. So if you find yourself in a first year platoon, it wasn't by accident.
All right, seventh period. So the requirement that Mashar and I just found out about like 5 minutes ago was seventh period, the expectation is to be 100% live. Like I said, we understand that not all of us can show up for live seventh period, but we also know that some of you rely on that seventh period credit so that you can get credits to graduate. We know a lot of you are relying on that. So we're going to leave that up to leaders. If the leaders of MCJROTC, if the cadets can recruit 25 cadets to do seventh period and do seventh period live, we will do seventh period. If not, we will wait until we return to the classroom, and then we'll start working on drill team, color guard, rifle team, and all that seventh period stuff. But we're going to leave that to leaders. We'll talk separately with you guys on that later. But if you don't think it can be done, it's not going to hurt our feelings. It's actually a lot more work on both Masher and myself. How are we doing it? We're doing it right now. We're on Zoom. We're using Turning Point. We'll upload videos to YouTube, and we're going to use Edpuzzle for any students who cannot make it to a live class. So you will still be tracked as to whether or not you're watching the videos that we're assigning you. As we did in the spring, every single thing we do, we want to make it to where you can do it from your phone. So if you're one of those students who has to share with a brother or sister, that's fine. We get that. Master and I have designed the program, the distant learning program, to be done on a phone because we wanted it to be easier for you guys to get done. How are we doing it? Health will be similar to academics. You'll receive a lesson like you're getting now, and then we'll follow up with a quiz or a short reflection. PT will be similar to spring. I know some of you have already been watching us on YouTube. Masher and I were in the school last week filming videos of calisthenics to assign. We got a few more to do, and then we'll follow that up with a completion of a PT log. We do have options. So our first option is asynchronous learning, and that is when you're live online just like you are now. That's what synchronous learning means. Our next option is asynchronous. It's not live, so we're not together, so that does suck, but it is more beneficial for those of you that either have shady Wi-Fi or get stuck sharing a computer with your brother and sister, and it's just not possible for you to be with us live every day. We think when we return, it'll be a hybrid method of partially going to school and partially being online. But what Mashar and I absolutely positively want and look forward to is getting everybody back inside the classroom to do it live. So our next polling question. On that picture, you're going to tap onto what you prefer most, either synchronous, asynchronous, both, or live. Live is on the far right. And I already see responses come in. We're halfway there. We got 9. We've got 1 for asynchronous. We've got 3 for hybrid. And everybody else is looking like they'd rather be live. And 1 wants synchronous. Wow, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
It's a pretty big spread.
Yeah, but you see the majority of us are picking right here that we'd rather be live or both. Ooh, now we're switching our votes. So the longer I keep this up, the more I'm glad you guys aren't voting in the upcoming election. Change your mind like this on a vote. But we see where we fall in. We want to be somewhere in between live and online. So that tells me most of us are most concerned about staying safe, but still getting to see our friends and learning in the classroom. Good. All right, polling is closed. That's the most responses we've gotten to. All right, we're only 20 minutes into it, so I don't think we need a break. We were planning on giving you one, but I think we can press on. Next up is grades. So the plan was to go back to 90% is an A, 80% is a B, 70% is a C, 60 is a D, anything under 60 is an F. That has not been agreed upon yet, but I'm telling you the school district absolutely positively wants a more stringent and realistic academic schedule this year. So be prepared to go right back to what we were doing before March 13th. Attendance. So this has not been agreed upon yet either, except that the district does in fact expect us to maintain attendance. We cannot, not as a program, as a school, as a district, or in the state of California, or in this country, go through another spring where we had up to half students not participating. That's just not sustainable and good for your education, your well-being, and your mental health. So expect that to change. Expect for you to be graded on whether or not you're participating in all of your classes. Rank and promotion. So community service, Master and I are being crafty on. We found some virtual opportunities. One idea we came up with is writing letters to people in senior homes. They're in their senior homes, they're alone, they can't be visited by family because of coronavirus threat. So just having our students write to them in their community and showing them that there's people out there that care about them. And it gets you out there in your community without actually leaving your house. Obviously, we're going to waive the PFT. We're going to waive the drill evaluation for promotions. But here's a big one. That's why it's in yellow. That's why it's in yellow. You will not be recommended for promotion if your grades are poor, if you're not meeting the GPA requirement of 2.0 for sergeants and below and 2.5 for staff NCOs and officers, and if you are not participating in class. We can't promote you. So the purpose of this orientation is to get across to you that we are getting closer to the strict rules that we had before we left in March. Will we be back? That's a good question. It is going to be COVID-19 dependent. Like I said, statistics in Sacramento County are going in the wrong direction. But Mashar and I are both very optimistic that we will be back and that it will be a gradual return. So that means we're going to start with hybrid. We explained what hybrid was a couple slides ago, and then eventually be 100% back. but it's all going to depend on how we're doing with COVID-19. Reminder that we have our cadet website. That includes our calendar. We are required to share our calendar with you so that you know what to expect. Our cadet handbooks will be 100% electronic this year. They're already up to date. All the forms that we use in the program are on the website under forms and downloads. We have our leadership page. We have links to our social media accounts, and we have all of our useful links to include SAT prep, ACT prep, getting ready for the ASVAB, college information, and contact information for recruiters. If you're not yet on Remind, or you were on Remind but dumped it because you got a new phone over the summer, please remember to sign up for our class code is 246 Kilo Charlie 6 Kilo. That's the same one we used last year. We already set up platoons. We're going to start putting the leaders in there after this is over today. All right, Matt Sharn's going to talk to you about fundraising, field trips, and competitions.
All right, well, first let me say thank you for those of you who participated in the car wash that we did in, I think it was the end of the first week of July. I don't think we communicated beyond that after the car wash was over, but we did raise $582. So we did a really good job. I know, I like that, right, Panzoy? What I'd like to do, because we don't have the availability to be in front of these first-year cadets, at least during the first quarter or even into that first semester, that car wash seemed to be very successful because we did it during the COVID pandemic. So there's an opportunity where we can tie our first-year cadets in so you guys can get to know them, be around them during the car washes. So that's something that we're going to keep on the calendar. And we've been invited back by the Elks Lodge, so that's something that we can simply work on. But beyond that, Mr. Randy hasn't been able to get anything fundraising-wise for us, right? The coupon card, which we kick off our year with, he was unable to. He broke his shoulder and he had a couple of other personal problems that he had, and then he couldn't get in front of the vendors to re-sign the cards because some of the businesses were closed, some of the owners he couldn't get a hold of. So that is on hold. We might potentially be able to do the online electronic fundraiser that we did, but there will be more to follow on that. Outside of that, things are going to be very limited field trip wise. I don't think we're going to be taking any major field trips this year. I would imagine that we come back into the hybrid type mode where we're kind of doing classes online and in the classroom broken up. So it's going to take some time to get us back into that field trip mode, but hopefully we can get something in during the end of the second semester. There's some local stuff that we can do. Not so much take like a Camp Pendleton trip, but there's some local stuff that we can do and we can get everybody involved in it. I think that's all I had.
All right, so as far as competitions go, we're not certain, like field trips, we're not certain they'll take place this year. If they do, we're going to have to jump back into school and really hit it hard. Otherwise, when we get back, Matt and I have just been talking about getting ready for next school year. Okay, so we still want to recruit. We still need the program to get bigger. I think Matt Sharn said the last count we had was 111 cadets, with 2 more that Bang S recruited for us that should be joining us by the end of the week. Remember, if you bring cadets into the program, you earn the recruiting ribbon. So here's some exciting news. So LE1s and LE2s already get PE credit for being an ROTC. LE3s and LE4s, we have applied through Mr. Van Etten in the district to get you college credit for completing ROTC. It hasn't been approved yet, but unless the district is really slow on their response, we hope to have it in place this school year, which is a huge opportunity for our cadets that want to go to college. Boom, you've already got some college credit in there, and it's called leadership education. So we're really excited that that was something we were identified and pushed for over the summer.
So the good thing on that too is California schools are already doing it. So the precedence is already there. So it's a good shot that we can get that approved.
Yeah, we're only waiting on district.
If that does go through, would like the last couple years that cadets were in here get that same credit, or just so on going forward?
No, it won't be retroactive. So you wouldn't get credit for last year. You would get credit for this year.
Oh, I understand.
All right. Okay, so next up, we're going into promotions. And we'll start with our highly motivated Cadet Hoke. To all shall see these presents greetings. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Alyssa Hoke. I do appoint this cadet a first sergeant, Frock, in the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps to rank as such from the 17th of August, 2020. This appointee will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And this appointee is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, given under my hand at John F. Kennedy High School, Sacramento, California, this 17th day of August in the year of our Lord, 2020. Signed, J. Esparza, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps, retired, Senior Marine Instructor. Congratulations, Hoke.
Congratulations.
To all shall see these presents, greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Chad Safon, Shreya Prasad, and Angelina Sher. I do appoint these cadets Staff Sergeants, Brock, in the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps to rank as such from the 17th day of August, 2020. These appointees will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And these appointees are to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to rules and articles governing the discipline of the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, given under my hand at John F. Kennedy High School, Sacramento, California, this 17th day of August in the year of our Lord, 2020. Signed, J. Esparza, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps, retired, Senior Marine Instructor. Congratulations to our new platoon commanders. To all shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Lauren Moyang, Ashley Robles, Sulkua Bang. I do appoint these cadets sergeants, Brock, in the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps to rank as such from the 17th day of August, 2020. These appointees will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And these appointees are to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, given under my hand at John F. Kennedy High School, Sacramento, California, the 17th day of August in the year of our Lord, 2020. Signed, J. Esparza, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps retired, Senior Marine Instructor. Congratulations, Sergeants of Marine Cadets. All right, so last spring, it was a challenge. There are statistics I've seen that up to 80% of some students in some schools did not log on at all to distant learning training. Here at ROTC at John F. Kennedy High School, we had several cadets complete 100% of the assignments that Master Sergeant and I provided. Several of them, 4 of them, will be getting promoted today. For the others that are listed here, when we return, we will have a significant gift to provide for you in recognition of your hard work and your commitment to your academic careers.
To all who shall see these present greetings, know ye that reposing special trust and confidence and fidelities and abilities of Lady Cassandra Avilio, I do appoint this cadet a Lance Corporal meritoriously in the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps to the rank as such from the 17th day of August, 2020. This appointee will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And this appointee is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, given under my hand at John F. Kennedy High School, Sacramento, California, the 17th day of August in the year of our Lord 2020. Signed, J. Esparza, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps, retired, Senior Marine Instructor.
Congratulations, Olivio.
To all who shall see these present greetings, know ye that reposing special trust and confidence and fidelities and abilities of Jaden Lord, Chloe Presidio, and Matthew Smith, I do appoint these cadets a private first class meritoriously in the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps to the rank as such from the 17th day of August 2020. These appointees will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And these appointees are to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the United States Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, given under my hand at John F. Kennedy High School, Sacramento, California, the 17th day of August in the year of our Lord 2020. Signed, J. Esparza, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps, retired, Senior Marine Instructor.
Congratulations, privates first class. All right, today we set up our turning point and we learned how to use it. We introduced our cadet leaders. We talked about our program updates and how we plan on tackling distant learning, and we execute promotions for our leaders of school year 2020 to 21. So cool thing about Turning Point is we always keep score of everything. So when we get back to competition, when we get back to drill meets, marksmanship meets, and color guard, we want to have a mindset that everything we do is competitive. So that starts here. Our fastest responders for the day were Camacho, Leo, way to go, Hogue, Sergeant Major, and Bang K. Let's see. Team scores. Our top performers was LE2 with 1.58 points, followed by LE4s and LE3s. Come on, now you guys are slacking. And our team MVP is Chang L, of course.
Wow.
Leo and Bang K. Wow. Awesome. Nice. Nice. All right. So let me see. Let's stop sharing this. All right. So that's it. That's a presentation we had for you. I didn't realize I had chats coming in and I wouldn't be able to see them. Oh, it's Dor. Okay, so Dor's question was, can you repeat the session? It did not work for me. So I'm assuming she meant session ID. You guys can all unmute yourselves if you want to talk because it's question and answer time. I'm assuming she meant session ID. My session ID, if you're in a class with me, will always be Sergeant Major Esparza 1. Sergeant Major Esparza 1, no spaces. Master Sergeant Mundorf will always be Master Sergeant Mundorf 2, no spaces. So whenever we do turn point, we'll flash on the screen, but pretty soon you should have a good idea of which it is we're doing. So I hope that answers Dora's question. Does it, ma'am? Okay, she's nodding yes, it does.
You got it.
How about anyone else who has questions? No one?
Ask.
We know everything?
Sorry, Rach, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Do you know how the schedules are going to work for all the other classes? Is it going to be like a regular school day?
So that's what I meant by the big question mark under when we're doing it. The EXO's asking, how are we going to school? Okay, you're telling us we have to go live, but when? Honestly, ma'am, we don't know. The school did propose about a month ago, and Master and I saved a copy of it, and we were going to present it to you, but it hasn't been agreed upon yet. That if you're in first, second, or third period, you would have live classes on Mondays and Wednesdays. For your fourth, fifth, and sixth period, you would have live classes on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then on Thursdays, we would have what's called structured support, where if you need help, like say Doris still doesn't get Turning Point, she could just say, hey, can I set up a Zoom meeting with you? And you just catch me up, because I honestly don't know what we are talking about when we're in the Zoom. My connection has been up, whatever. It's an opportunity for Master and I to work with cadets who might not be getting the best grades, and they just need tutoring from us, mentoring from us. It's a good opportunity for the CO, XO First Sergeant Gunny to put together staff meetings, but that's what they've proposed. We just don't know if it's going to be accepted. I mean, we honestly wish we had more answers for you. We were, until the last minute, Master and I, sending emails saying, please, who, what, where, when, how, and we'll figure out everything else. But we need the information.
Myself and the Sergeant Major have been talking since the school ended about when are we going to find out about how we're going to be teaching. And we keep saying it's going to be like last minute, the last couple of days before we actually start teaching. Just want to give you an example. I know the Sergeant Major has a school teacher that lives by him, and I have my neighbors that are really close to us, and there's just a different variety of how schools are doing business. I know my neighbor, she spends about 5 hours a day in classes. She gets a couple of 5-minute breaks, kind of like changing classes type breaks. She gets a lunch break, and then she gets a couple of 2-minute breaks, but she's online for about 5 hours a day doing online class like we would be doing a bell. How that's going to work with us. But that's what they do in Elk Grove, and that's at the middle school level.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. If they expect 6 hours a day of Zoom, I've got a metal back chair like the ones we use in the classroom. My back's hurting, and we've only been sitting here for about 49 minutes. So
I can just imagine the attention span. You can't keep someone online that long and keep them interested.
No, and that's why we went with something like Turning Point, so we could foster engagement the entire time. Anyone else?
For community service, I'm tutoring elementary school kids on Zoom too. Can I get hours like that?
Okay, so Seal's question is, he already does tutoring. Master and I have reworked our form for outside junior ROTC community service. Yes, and would we say that while we're distant learning, we're going out to, I think it was 8 hours. I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can do
8 hours
outside.
8 hours of outside ROTC. So if you have something like that where your parents have you doing something to help out, we will have that form. It's already on our website under downloads, and we'll take it from you. We're looking at, though, coordinating opportunities for you guys to do stuff like that. I saw one, it was through the My Brother's Keeper program, and they were, no kidding, having a 2K tournament. But which is a video game a lot of you might already play, but it's a video game to raise awareness for Black Lives Matter. So it is community engagement. It's got a bunch of kids who would otherwise be on the street, maybe doing something bad, sitting behind their TVs with each other, making new friends, and in between games, talking about important social issues that are going on. So we're looking at stuff like that to create opportunities to keep you being model citizens in your community, which is the entire purpose of this program.
Just keep in mind with the community service, we're being very generous because we understand the challenges that we have, and we understand that it's very hard for people to gather in places and stuff. So we're trying to use this online platform the best that we can. So mentoring and tutoring and those types of things, those will all be considered for community service.
Yeah. Anyone else? Luna, nothing.
Or you look like you want to ask something.
I'm good.
No, you're not, but we got you. We got you. So a couple questions that didn't come up, I was positive were going to come up, were, Sergeant Major Mashner, what about drill? And Ochoa, go ahead.
So for
service, will you guys announce things like where we could potentially help others? Like how Sir said that he was already doing tutoring for elementary. Is there things that will pop up for that for us too?
Yeah, so Achoa's question is, how will we announce it? Master and I don't have a whiteboard to write it down like we do in the classroom, so we're going to use Google Classroom announcements. We'll post an announcement, we'll post a sign-up link with the information, and then it's up to you to bring us back the proof that you did it. So even if it's something like we're going to let you get away with joining a 2K tournament, even if it were something like that, we're going to put a cap on how many hours, because we're not going to give you 8 hours for playing video games. No. We'll put a cap on how much it's worth, and then you would bring us a screenshot proving that you actually took part in it. If it's a tutor, then it would be a form signed. The way Master had the form set up was like the person you're supporting signs off saying, yes, this person did help me with my son's tutoring, something like that. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, Sergeant Major.
Good.
Joe, I have a question for you. Do you have a brother joining?
Join? Then no.
We have an incoming Achoya for an incoming freshman, so I thought maybe it was related to you, but maybe not. No reason to be shy.
Okay, so anyway, the question I was anticipating was, what about drill? We could do drill, just like we did the videos for PT. Master and I could go in there and teach drill on video and have you guys get quizzed on that. We just don't see the value in it. We think the most we could get out of distant learning is doing the academic portion, doing some PT, and then when we get back to the classroom, that's when we'll hit drill, that's when we'll hit PT, and that's when we'll start learning marksmanship, land navigation, and other engaging type things that get us outside and not, we don't want to be stuck in the classroom when we get back. We want to go outside and do stuff while we do stuff.
Exactly.
Anyone else? No? Oh, Leo, ma'am.
How are we going to be doing uniform inspections?
So there's another one. Sergeant Major, what about uniforms? So it took Master and I 6 weeks to collect your guys' uniforms last spring. We love you guys, but you guys were awful at remembering stuff. Just like you showed up late for this class. We are not going to be issuing uniforms until we get back inside the classroom. And then, like we said, uniform inspections, close order drill, PT. We won't be doing anything inside the classroom when we get back. We'll be doing stuff like that when we get back, and we'll get caught up then. So that means all you boys with afros, all you boys that are looking like hippies, like you're in Portland, protesting and rioting and looting, you will be getting haircuts when we return to the classroom. We all understand that? Head shakes? All of us. Yeah, we get it. Boys will get haircuts when we get back to the classroom. When we get back. See how we got ours? You'll get yours when you get back. Does that answer your question, Leo?
Yes, Sergeant Major.
Anyone else? No? You guys just like looking at our faces? Really? Okay. So, Master, do you have anything else to close with?
No, I think I'm good.
Theo, XO, Gunny, First Sergeant?
Stay cool.
I just want to say to talk about what Sir was talking about, how not all of us have laptops and computers and stuff, but now the school, they're still offering Chromebooks, and I just got mine today. So all you have to do is do this sign up for it online. It'd be on Infinite Campus and messages, and you just fill out the form and you could just get it whenever you can.
Good.
That's it.
That's a good point that you brought up too, because I was at the school the other day, and it's no longer where it's one computer per household. Now it's one computer per student. So if you have multiple students in your class or in your household and they need a laptop, they will be issued that laptop from whatever respective school that they're at. So it's no longer one laptop per home. It's one laptop per student now.
Yeah. Okay,
Which
so
then-
Roma says, if I could get a copy of the slide to catch up. Okay, so for anyone that wasn't here during orientation, I'm going to edit the video and post it to our to our YouTube channel so you guys can watch it there. There you go. And then we'll also, it'll be available for everybody. Next question. I don't know why we're chatting instead of just talking. Oh, no, that was it.
Let me make a little comment too. For those of you who don't know, some of you probably don't, but for those of you who don't know, school starts on the 3rd of September this year. Usually it's like the last day of August prior to Labor Day. Now we're starting the week of Labor Day. So we're actually starting a few days later this year instead of years past.
Good. Okay, so we're good. 5, 4, 3.
Question.
There you go, SpongeBob.
So for like the assignments we do, are they still going to be daily assignments?
So Luna's question is, are they going to be daily assignments? Yes. The reason is we do not want to overburden you guys. We don't. Trust me, we absolutely positively do not want to overburden you guys. But the longer we put off assignments, so if Bashar and I say we want you to do this and it's due tomorrow or the day after, the more we do that, the more you guys are like, whew, I'm not worried about that till it comes. So
Right.
we're giving you daily assignments, but manageable assignments. Nothing we assign you will be, oh my God, difficult. It will be challenging because we're going to have you think critically, but it will not be challenging as far as time is considered, your Wi-Fi or your computer is considered, or your level of intelligence. We just want you to think about what you're learning and be able to communicate it. It's leadership development. Does that answer your question, ma'am? Luna, you better nod or something.
Yes.
Anyone else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Great seeing everybody's faces. We look forward to seeing you again September 3rd. Hopefully before then you will know when we're going to see each other, what time we're going to see each other. But if I could ask one more thing, go to sleep at a reasonable time. I still get it's summertime. I still get messages at midnight asking me, Sergeant Major, whose Zoom are we using, yours or Master Sergeant? It's like, come on, man, go to sleep. Get some sleep so that you're ready to rock and roll when school gets back.
Kind of like we have to set some parameters for the hours of communication.
Yeah, oh, I didn't get it. I was already asleep. I'm 45. I was asleep.
Yeah, right?
All right.
So,
We'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and then come back ready to learn. Bye.
good seeing everybody. We'll see you guys in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.